In the summer of 2010, U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service employees began the process of charting the course for the future of the National Wildlife Refuge System. That journey has culminated in all of you being here at the Conserving the Future conference. You will have 3 days to refine the vision and begin the urgent and important work of implementation. Nothing less than the future of wildlife conservation in America is at stake.
What we need to do is to figure out where we're going in the next generation and how we're going to connect up to the American people.
Please rise for the presentation of the colors by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service Honor Guard and the National Anthem, sung by Gina Swoop.
Say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please be seated. Please welcome to the stage Tom Melius, Midwest Regional Director, and Kathy Stepp, Secretary of the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources.
Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Midwest region. It's my pleasure to be a part of the opening ceremonies to this visioning conference because we're going to be getting busy pretty soon to help charting out the pathway forward into the future for the National Wildlife Refuge System. But before we get started, it's great to see people from all over the country, from all programs of the agency, from representatives from a number of states and conservation organizations in attendance. I know in the Midwest region, we have quite a few people in the audience, and I'd like to take a moment just to have those people from the Midwest region raise their hands. Now, I know the Midwest region is also the home for many of the employees that have started their careers or who've worked during their tenure here in the Midwest region. Let's see a show of hands of folks who have worked in the Midwest region. Now, I know there's a number of folks that haven't raised their hands and are probably a little envious because they know in the Midwest region there's 3 or 4 things that stand out. First, it's fashion. Where else can you wear camouflage to formal events? And it's very appropriate. Cuisine. We always have the 4 food groups at every meal: venison, fish, brats, and cheese. And where, if you go to a potluck and you bring a fruit jello, you get credit for 3 dishes. You got a salad, you got a side dish, and you got dessert. The weather. All 4 seasons are here in the Midwest. Pre-winter, winter, post-winter, road construction. But really, folks, it's because in the Midwest region, we have 54 great wildlife refuges, 12 wetland management districts, over 40 friends groups, an active fisheries program, ecological services, migratory birds, and over 1,200 of the most dedicated people in the Fish and Wildlife Service. And it's an honor to be their regional director and the host region of this conference. Now, this region has 8 great states: Minnesota, Michigan, Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, Iowa, Missouri, and the great state of Wisconsin. And so it is fitting today to be able to have the Secretary of the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources be here to give us a welcome to the state of Wisconsin. Now, Kathy Stepp has not been a person unfamiliar to government. From 2002 to 2006, she was a state senator from Racine. And while she was in the Senate, she was a co-chair of the Environment and Natural Resources Committee. Governor Walker recently appointed Kathy as the new Secretary of the Wisconsin DNR, and so please, let's welcome Kathy Stepp.
Good morning. I had no idea Tom was such a stand-up comedian. Had I known that, I would have prepared much more thoroughly and gotten a few shots at his home state. But we're going to let it slide in the interest of linking arms and protecting our natural resources, which is what we have the privilege of doing in the great state of Wisconsin through the state Wisconsin DNR, and getting to work with partners like Tom and all of you in our national service in the U.S. Fish and Wildlife. The dedication and the inspiration that I see on a daily basis from my staff and for many of you that I've actually had the pleasure of meeting on occasion during my travels around the state really inspire me every day. And I tell anybody who will listen to me that I have the best job in state government. I have the pleasure and the honor to be able to represent over 2,000 men and women who get out of bed every day, and it's not going to a job, it's living out their mission and their passion and their spirit for our state and our natural resources that we all hold so dear. And it is really an honor for me to be the window dressing for all the hard work that they do every single day. We certainly have a lot of natural resources here in Wisconsin, and Tom shared a few of those with you. And we've got the statistics to talk about all the different species and endangered resources that we work so hard to protect. But really, the thing that we have most to offer to our residents here in Wisconsin and to all of you who we expect to spend a lot of money while you're here is fabulous tourism opportunities and recreational opportunities that span the gambit of all different kinds of things that you can do in our great outdoors. But we all know that we wouldn't be able to do any of those kinds of things were it not for the hardworking men and women like yourselves who work so hard around our country to build up and to work and do the maintenance and to work with the friends groups to get people out there to do the hands-on work that has to be done in our properties across the country. The unsung heroes really are sitting in the room with us today, and certainly more of them back at home that weren't able to attend the conference today. And I just want to thank you, not just as a representative of our state and of Governor Walker's administration, but most importantly to thank you as a mom. When I take my kids on vacation and we have the opportunity to be able to visit all of these fabulous properties, it is a gift that you are carrying on to my children, and certainly down to my children's children and beyond. And it's through your hard work and dedication and the motivation that you show every day that we're able to offer that to our children. We've got a lot of different species like I talked about in Wisconsin, and we're going to show you just a short video to brag about all of our good stuff here in a moment. Whooping cranes, Karner blue butterflies, Kirtland's warblers, which I had to rehearse that name a couple of times this morning, and the piping plover, say that 3 times fast. Like Tom said, we have 8 national wildlife refuges and 2 wetland management districts here in Wisconsin, over 182,000 acres right here in our state alone. We have about 130 permanent employees in Wisconsin of the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, doing everything from the management of the refuges, working with private landowners, which is so important too, raising fish, and of course enforcement of the federal fish and wildlife laws. The key to our mutual success and interest certainly is a strong partnership between our agencies at all levels of our organizations, from the boots on the ground like you all to the upper levels of administration like Tom. I want to wish you the best of luck today in your visioning conference, and I know that you're already mindful of the critical role that state agencies play in achieving that shared vision that we have. Please enjoy our rich outdoor heritage, natural resources that we have to offer. And just a quick plug for you, we do at Wisconsin DNR have a one-day fishing license for a very affordable $8, and the bluegills are biting in Lake Monona right outside. So thank you everybody for your hospitality. I wish you the best success, and make sure to take a piece of Wisconsin home with you tonight. Thank you.
Yeah, he's a good one. 21.8 pounds.
About 5.5 pounds. Nice size cup for that age.
Thank you, Kathy, for that video. I think it's a great way to people to really understand the great resources here in the Midwest and specifically in Wisconsin. Just a little trivia question of the 8 regional directors in the Fish and Wildlife Service. Which one was born March 1st, 1951, just down the road in West Bend, Wisconsin? You got it. Everybody have a great conference. Everybody have a great day. Welcome to Wisconsin.
Please welcome back to the stage Tom Melius and Mayor Paul Soglin of the City of Madison.
Well, good morning. This is where we like to be flexible as we go through the agenda. My other duties were to also introduce the mayor, who was a little delayed in traffic in getting here, but he has arrived, and so I'm joined on stage by the mayor of Madison. And I want to just say a few things, because last night, Mayor, we had a reception on the rooftop here, and thank you for ordering both the heat and the coolness here in Madison. We had a great time, and I think Paul was, we'll give him a round of applause just to thank him for the weather that he was able to provide. Now, Paul has been a mayor for a number of years, first elected in 1973, shortly after his 28th birthday. He's also been very active here in Madison and here in this convention center. First conceived by Frank Lloyd Wright back in the 30s, this convention center opened just 14 years ago in 1997. Paul is also not only the mayor of Madison, he's an adjunct professor at the University of Wisconsin, and if you've been able to get around a little bit in this great state and this particular city, you will see there's a lot of bike trails, and I think that's a little bit of a compliment of Paul's interest as a bicyclist. So would you please welcome to the stage Paul Sogan, Mayor of Madison. Paul?
Thank you, and I certainly do want to welcome all of you. This has been a really wonderful week here in Madison, and principally because you're here. I want to just go back a little bit to a day in 1984. I was sitting in my office looking out the window, and trying to recall now how old I was then, I guess 39, an honest 39. I looked out the window and I saw a bird here in Madison that I'd never seen before. Not that I know much about birds, but at least I know what I hadn't seen. And in this particular instance, as it turned out, it was a hawk. I was 39 years old and I had never seen a hawk. Not at least in Chicago where I was raised, or here in Wisconsin. Think about that. And think about today when you step outside, when you go a couple of miles to the east or the west and where I live, good part of the day you look up in the sky, you're going to see a bird of prey. Things have changed significantly since 1984, and certainly since the 1950s. What's changed, hopefully permanently, is our appreciation of our environment, our understanding that cities, as well as rural and rustic areas, are part of that environment. And an understanding that we have an obligation to future generations, not just to ourselves. We have an obligation to understand the meaning of looking in the sky, not just to that single bird, but what that bird represents. Nowadays, we are hearing a great deal at all levels of government, and if you've read this morning's paper, you see that we face the problems right here in Madison. We hear a great deal about tough resources, allocation of what revenues government has, and making difficult decisions in terms of allocations. It's time we sat back, and you are an important part of the discussion because you know firsthand the consequences of doing good things. It's time that we sat back and had a discussion about our values. What is important to us? What is meaningful to us? When we built this building, it was not easy. Part of the difficulty was raising the funds, the $64 million. But there were other things we had to deal with, which were just as difficult. There was a bike path around Lake Monona. It had cost us $50,000 to build. I was often asked what was the the thing I was most proud of as mayor, and I'd say that bike path. $50,000, no moving parts, brought joy and happiness to thousands of people every week who used it. We had to figure out how to work the design of this building so that the bike path would not be interrupted. And those of you who've got a chance to get out on a bicycle, if you're not going to fish, you'll find that this is the only bike path in the world that has an elevator. You'll find it at the east end of the building. We also had to contend with issues regarding the fish. And as it turns out, the folks we worked with, the experts we worked with, folks like you, were correct. If we built this building properly as it hung out over the lake, this did not drive away the fish, and in fact, standing off the edge of the building here, you'll find people fishing every day because this has become a habitat that the fish enjoy. But it takes thoughtful people such as yourself to help us do this kind of planning, whether it has to deal with that hawk or these fish or the bicyclists. We all work together. Can't promise this kind of weather for the rest of the week, but I certainly hope you enjoy it. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Paul. I'm just going to say one remark and we'll go. And so with that, an official welcome to this Midwest region, to the great state of Wisconsin, to the great city of Madison. Let's have a great conference. Thank you.